Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and have kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and maintenance. Today we're going to ponder on the question, should you become a vegetarian to optimize your weight loss and maintenance? Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, Naturopathic Earth, which has hundreds of articles and recipes, my podcast, The Awakened Man, my books, and if you appreciate my content, there's a link for PayPal. Now, vegetarianism or veganism, if you want to go to the more, I'd say, stricter version of vegetarianism, it, in many ways is a religion, and you're going to find people, both men and women, who abide by it as if it's a religion. And you got to always worry about isms in any sort. But you will find a lot of people that will swear that being a vegetarian is good for you. And you will find others who would say that no. And similar to, I think, on one level, if you Google, is marijuana good for you, you're going to get tons of biased articles, either for or against. And I think with vegetarianism, it's similar in that you're going to find a lot of content on both sides that will support their cause. So it's hard to look at studies this, studies that, studies this, because both sides will pull out studies. So I'm not going to really hit it from the empirical point of view. I mean, there are studies that demonstrate that if you have a high red meat diet, in particular processed meats, but even just high red meat diet, a higher rate of cancers, colorectal cancer in particular, and a higher rate of atherosclerosis, and some other issues. So I don't think that is well disputed. We don't want to eat a lot of processed meats. We have an episode on this. You do want to stay away from the deli meats and the hot dogs and other processed meats like that, because they're not good for you. Now, but we're talking about, like, just in general, chicken, pork, and all of these. When I'm talking about like quality grass-fed organic. We're not just talking about what you're going to get at some chicken fast food place. And I tell you this, look, I always have the long view when it comes to weight loss and weight management. And the long view of all these things are really applied out by day in, day out stuff. So for you to lose your weight, and I posted that poll probably a couple months ago to see where you guys are at. And I think 50% of you need to start losing weight, and then 25 have started, 25 are maintaining it. To really start that path, it's one day at a time. And I know that's cliche, but when you're doing one day at a time, it's meaning that you're going to eat relatively well that one day, of course, exercise, take walks, lower your stress. You want to have the long game in play. And so when it comes to this question, I always look at the long game. What is your best chance of losing weight and keeping it off? And also you need to couple it, what is best for your overall health? So we have an episode here, watch out for the puritanical purists, the ones who say that for you to lose weight, you must eliminate this and it must be out of your life forever and you can never have it again. And typically the culprits for this are going to be gluten or dairy. I don't abide by that. I would definitely say there are gluten sensitivity people. There's very few people who have celiac disease, which is an autoimmune gluten problem. And look, life without any bread at all or pasta or any baked goods is not really a life worth living on one level unless you have celiac. And it's kind of the same thing with vegetarianism. So to the roundabout point, 4 minutes in, I would not be a vegetarian. That being said, there are many people who eat the standard American diet of just crap fast food and packaged food and frankenfoods and all these things, pesticide-laden produce. And then they decide, I'm going to stop eating meat or animal products. And they essentially become a vegetarian, or at least a flexitarian, maybe a couple servings of meat a week. But they go from eating meat 3 times a day pretty much to eating it 3 times a week. And a lot of people lose weight. They do lose weight. And so they think this isn't some vindication or that vegetarianism is long-term healthy for you. And it's not necessarily that. Because if you're going from eating the typical standard American diet of crap, and you're going to anything that's even remotely healthier, whether it be low carb or whether it be like a paleo, where if God didn't make it, don't eat it, or anything that's going to clean up your diet, you probably are going to feel better, not have the brain fog and lose weight. It's because you're leaving the old standard American diet. I personally would not adhere to the vegetarian or even stricter like veganism, where I'm not having honey or anything like that at all, because simply I just don't find it for me to be tenable, for it to be maintainable, because I do like meat. I like the way it tastes. Now, the keto people, the carnivore people will be like, Greg, you can't say anything that's plant-based. We need to be eating only meat. And I'm like, yeah, well, first of all, I don't think day in, day out carnivore is tenable. It's not maintainable. That's not to say that those foods aren't great. I love to eat. I eat eggs every day. I had eggs last night for dinner. I love eggs. I love bacon. I love steak. But we do need to eat plant-based products. We do need to eat roughage. I know the keto-obsessed people and the carnivore people are going to be like, oh, no, these studies, But again, it's so partisan that I'm not going to believe necessarily any study a carnivore person shows me, but I'm not going to also believe like forks over knives and the Chinese studies and all these that the veggies push on us. I look at it from a much more pragmatic point of view. I like fish. I like meat. I like eggs. I'm not going to eliminate these from my diet. What I would recommend, and I think overall there are going to be more objective studies that vindicate a more plant-based diet with some flexitarian, some servings of animal products here and there per week that are going to be out there that support the pure kind of carnivore or low carb even diet. And if you look at testosterone levels, even if you look at cancer levels, if you look at other things, eating a more flexitarian diet, I think, is the better way to go. So I would recommend to you, look what's maintainable long term. And if you're like, dude, I like steak, all right, you don't have to eliminate steak. Just make sure it's grass-fed and good quality steak, and then go from there. But I'm not going to tell you, I'm not one of these like, it has to be this, right? So it has to be vegetarian or it has to be carnivore. Somewhere in the middle, like if there's a scale and one side's carnivore and one side's vegetarian and 5 is in the middle, I'm saying probably be like a 7 closer to plant-based. Now, you can be a plant-based junk food junkie. You could be eating Cheetos every day, and that's plant-based. And you can be a junk food vegetarian. I'm not recommending that. So I would probably tell you is do like a paleo-esque diet, where if God didn't make it, don't eat it. So you're eating fruits, vegetables, nuts, preferably soaked, legumes, and then wild-caught fish, grass-fed cattle. Same thing with the chicken. Just good quality, but limit the servings to maybe 3 or 4 servings a week. And no matter what, if you're leaving the middle aisles of junk food, especially for those of you guys who need to lose the weight, if you're leaving the packaged foods, frozen food or middle aisle, and you're going to a more paleo diet with some meat or even no meat, you are going to lose weight, because the whole thing is you're leaving the middle aisle world of lots of calories with no nutrition, lots of flour with no nutrition. So if you're just going to more nutrient-dense foods, whether it be the aforementioned fruits and vegetables, you throw in some high-quality dark chocolate, you make some homemade hummus, you make guacamole, and then you're eating good salads with some servings of either be like salmon or even pork or steak or ground beef, you're just going to do better. And that's what I would recommend. So in closing, I would recommend think long term. Don't have this mindset you have to give up something to lose the weight. Know what you like and know what is maintainable for you, and kind of use that as a rubric. But I would guide you to more a paleo, natural foods, #eat green, eat clean kind of world, where you're a flexitarian, where you do limit the amount of meat that you're eating, but you're still eating 3 or 4 servings a week. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.